In the sport of tractor pulling, 300 feet used to be the gold standard, but now 100 yards is almost child's play, especially in the unlimited light super stock class. With these wild riding tractors, the big 300 is when they are just starting to go. It's a class that is proud to be an addiction because it is also pure adrenaline.
In the heart of the Midwest, there's a band of modern-day marauders. Mounted atop their beasts, they line up to throw down. They are outlaws.
The sun is setting low and the shadows are getting longer here in Ravenna, Nebraska, but the Outlaw Pulling Series is ready to shine. Hello everyone, I'm Claude Wood, and along with Dave Bennett and Rick Carlson, we will be bringing you all of the Outlaws action.
Two different classes here today. We're going to be from one extreme to the other, the big alcohol burners, the big tire speed, and then we roll right into the super farms, diesel burner, tractor rear ends, two totally different classes.
Dave, give us a little background info and bring us up to speed on the sled.
Well, either one of these classes are going to hook onto the very same sled. All you do is change some weight and some gear settings. The pulling machine hooks on to the sled, goes down the track, transferring the weight from the rear tires onto the front end, and eventually the skid pan just gets so much resistance on the ground, it cannot go any farther.
So as we get it started in the unlimited super stocks, this is Don Storjohn. He's out of Cedar Falls, Iowa.
Just off warranty too, man. A very experienced puller, been around the sport many years. Just off warranty too, coming to hook with the Outlaws. Oh, giddy up, go. Got a lot. Eesh, look at what's coming out from underneath the bottom end right there. And he don't let off the throttle. He had a good run going, a great run, 365.08, but Claude, I think this is going to be a little costly.
As he starts out, he sort of feathers it on the beginning, but that's not where he has the problem.
No, he done a great job on the line, but watch that oil come out. First thing you think of is that he blowed a rod or something. There's no metal coming out. Don't know, but it's going to cost him.
Let's go down to Rick Carlson.
I guess the warranty just expired.
That's for sure. I think it's gone.
Well, whatever happened right there at the end, it went up and all this nice colored fluid came out underneath.
I think it knocked the front of the oil pan out. So.
Well, it's going to be fun looking inside then.
Yeah, well, first thing I do when I get to the trailer is I will look at the engine oil screen, and I'll know right away whether I got a problem or not.
In the unlimited super stocks, there's really not a lot of tractor underneath the seat. Dave has details.
Unlimited light super stocks, the little scat backs, the boys that can really spin and grin. When I talk about spinning, I'm talking about tire speed of 80 to almost 100 miles an hour. Of course, they're special design tires, the puller tires. They're designed to do that. That's a safety issue. But when you want to talk about safety, on an unlimited light super stock, you got to talk about the rear end. There's no way that you can take an international stock rear end and crank it 100 miles an hour. The safety boys, the insurance boys, has allowed that you can go to a component rear end. But for all intent and purposes, you take an over-the-road semi-truck, take the center section out of it, and then you take your outboard planetaries off of a forklift or a farm tractor, weld those planetaries onto the semi-truck, and you have got a component tractor.
Part of a father-son team driving this is the son, Justin Hoffman. They run a body shop.
Out of Dunlop, Iowa, slick-looking machine. Look at all those weights hanging up on the front end. They built this tractor light where they could move weights around for different tracks. These little scat back can get a little carried away. He's way over on that right side. In fact, he got off the throttle. He was getting too close to that sideline. Goes 303 and 31.
As we go to the replay, you call it a scat back. Where'd you get that?
All these tires, when them tires go to spinning like that on these 6,000 pounders, they can get anywhere in a hurry. Getting over to that right side, looking over, it's a good thing he got off the throttle. He wasn't going nowhere.
What happened?
Took off, and it kind of wanted to suck me over to the right-hand side, so I was on my left brake pretty hard there for pretty much the whole run, and I see my dad waving down on the sideline, so let out of it. Wasn't really going to go anywhere anyways, so just try to save the motor and wait for another day.
A lot of the tractor teams involve the whole family, such as the case with Colin Weens. His sister will be coming up later, but here comes the adrenaline.
Yeah, the kids kicked Dad out of the seat today, so the young one's getting it on. Now there's a run. How you like that? Motor singing a song, tires burning and churning, straight down the track. Gets a really good distance at 3:27.08.
As we go to the replay, you called it, Dave. This is about as picture perfect as it gets.
And he's still 40 foot behind Storajon. Storajon was on a different spot of the track, but you can't pick this run apart at all. The front end just skipping on the ground. Air pressure, he might could have used different air pressure. Still a nice run.
As we go to the leaderboard, John Storajon, even with the problems he had, way out front. But there's much more to come and a lot tougher competition coming up, including Taylor Weens driving this great-looking John Deere. She will try to outperform her brother and the rest of the competition when we come back.
The Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association is brought to you by Bauer Built. Our strength is in our people and the customers we serve. Will Cross Seed. Good product, good prices, good service. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. And by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology.
Welcome back to Ravenna, Nebraska, and a great crowd on hand. The young lady, really lots of energy there, and maybe one day she will be sitting in the seat where Taylor Weens is, driving the Deere Factor.
Don't count the ladies out. We got 4 or 5 ladies in the Outlaws that can hammer with the best of them, and this is one of them. Coming off that line in a hurry. You seen that left foot come off that clutch? She launched it, and she's running it. About to run out of track. Ladies, get loud. Right there you go. Taylor Weens, 3:77.33.
As we go to the replay, it makes me wonder, maybe Colin, her brother, helped her out with a little info there.
Oh, I'm quite sure they talked, or she wouldn't come off the line as hard as she did. And if you don't think women ain't competitive, you just seen one right there that's as competitive as everybody. She's the new leader. Let's go down to Rick Carlson.
Taylor Weens, 377 foot. I thought you wanted to get right to the scoreboard.
I wanted to blow over it.
You got awfully close. So that's a grit. Everybody's got to be happy. You got everything right.
Thank you. It's just a rush. I mean, it's awesome.
Scott Holtgrew won this class last night, but today, Dave, it's a different track.
It is for a fact. A lot drier. Just totally different conditions, but these guys are professionals. They got to change the tractors to meet the track conditions. This guy is a runner. He proved that last night. You talk about putting weight on the rear end. You talk about going down to the other end. He's chasing the girl. He's carrying the flag for the men. And boy, did he do a good job. 4:01.03, he took the lead away from the lady.
Yeah, a great run. And on the front of the tractor there, Dave, that's not just window dressing. Weights are under there.
Yeah, and this is a class of fine-tuning the weights. I mean, just 5 pounds inside that box or taking 5 pounds out of that box will make a difference of 10 foot on the other end. And that was a great run.
Well, Scott, at only 400 feet, would you have done anything different?
It's 401 foot. That's pretty good. We've only been about 380 before, so that's probably a personal record.
Well, that, I think, is the first 400-foot pass I've seen. So it looks like pretty much everything was just right.
Yeah, I had a little shaky start there, but in 400 foot, I made up for it.
Our next puller is Lewis Freeze. He's out of Watkins, Iowa.
And we see a lot of father and son teams in the sport, not only in this class. And this is a father-son team right here. Lewis being the son. Glenn, his dad, normally does the driving, but the younger generations are coming on strong, especially in these high tire speed classes. He's working high tire speed, high motor RPM, never locked to the track. You've seen the front end bouncing up and down just a little bit. 336.26. He's going to be disappointed when the other guys are way out there.
Yeah, it's a pretty good pull, but really like the classic lines of this Case International.
Oh, it's clean. It is very clean. But you notice the front end touching the ground, touching the ground, touching the ground. That's actually costing you distance off the run itself. So can't discredit the guy. He just knows to reweight.
And being a good sport, Taylor Weens congratulates Scott Holtgrew. As we check out final results, your top 3 positions, John Deere tractors. Look at that, Don Storjohn, a good pull in 3rd place, even though he broke. Scott Holtgrew, way out front. Hey, Scott has a fan club going here. More exciting Outlaws when we come back. One of the most popular and exciting classes, the Super Farms. And Dave, this goes back to just about the beginning of pulling.
Well, it really does. It really does. Guys used to farm in the field and take them in and wash them off and take a screwdriver to the pump and turn them up. And let's go to the county fair and let's find out who's got the hardest working tractor.
And Dave, here at Ravenna, we'll see a lot of brand loyalty. Our first puller will be Barry Haverhalls. He's your 2013 Western Farm Show champion.
Him and his partners, there's 3 partners on this tractor, and they all 3 do a great, great job. Barry Haverhalls going down the track, be the first one. He's going to set the mark that they shoot at. Super Farm don't have the big tire speed like we've seen in the other class, but they're heavier. They get down the track, you're looking at 9,000 plus pounds, and that gives him the distance of 302.93. Well, the officials did ask him if he was going to take this pull or not, and he did take it. At 302.17, he's not going to be happy with himself. You see the tires bulging just a little bit. Just wasn't the most perfect run, but he's going to live with it to just see how it's going to fit in the class.
Well, it's a little chancy when you do that. This guy has been coming on strong all year, and this is Clayton Schmidt.
Here is a guy that is running for the points this year, and he's done served notice. He said, guys, I'm here to play with you, and he's been doing it a great job. Ulysses, Nebraska is where he's from. At 79.30, digging in. Oh, yeah, he's going to take it to the lead. New leader, 308.76. And you can tell right here how he has served notice to the boys. Hard off the line, rode that clutch. You can hear him riding the clutch. Motor up in there, great job of driving.
That's a slick-looking tractor, the Cornhusker Cadillac. Let's go down to Rick Carlson.
Clayton, 308 feet. That is not bad. It's early. Still got more left. How do you feel about the pull?
It seemed good coming out of the hole and everything. There's a lot of good tractors left, so I guess we'll see if we made a runway for them or if we can hold on to it. So hopefully it stays on and see what we can do there.
Our next puller is Tom Delaney. He's in the cattle business around Fremont, Nebraska.
You get out in that part of Nebraska, there's lots of cattle and there's lots of pulling tractors, and Freedom is well known. He's moved over to the right side of the track. Good RPM. Look at those rear tires. You can tell he's putting traction on those rear tires. Nice little run. He goes into second place at 306.77. But Claude, I'd say the rear tires, the way he's got it balanced and his air pressure in the tires is what's going to make this run what it is.
And you always see a little bit of give in those back tires as they bite in.
Well, everybody thinks they run high air pressure. You're probably only looking at 7 pounds right there.
That'll bring up Steve Cavan out of Wahoo, Nebraska. He is the 2012 and 2014 Western Farm Show champion.
He does know what it's like to win. This guy actually does a lot of mechanical work on a lot of the tractors in this class. He's got the dyno, even helps his dad farm, but he is a super diesel mechanic. And the man is a classic person of getting all the horsepower, all the ponies out of his motor. In fact, he used every pony. He goes into third by .06.
Go to the replay. He spots the sled right in the center of the track, and that seems to be working out pretty well for him.
That's where a lot of these guys have been going to. Set it in the center, don't get fancy, just drive it straight down the track and try to outpull them.
Our next puller is Brian Deck out of Windside, Nebraska. He drives the One Bad Apple.
One Bad Apple is one you better keep an eye on because he spoils a lot of people's fun on the other end with his apple because he is a runner. Once again, perfect power, perfect tire pressure. Might be a tick heavy on the front, but he's not going to gripe. He better not gripe. He just went in the lead at 310 feet.
A great-looking international harvester. He's got the weights evenly distributed, it looks like, on the front and on the side.
And, you know, we keep talking about the tire pressure in this class because it is so critical. These boys burn the exact same fuel out of the same barrel. Everything's the same. It's just who can put the power to the ground.
Alan Andrews is your 2013 points champion. He was runner-up in 2014.
And he don't like runner-up. He's at chasing the points again this year. A lot of these guys are heavy into the points race, and this is just early in our season, and they've done served notice. We're going to go for the lead. Man out of South Dakota, the Dakota Deer. See a little bounce in those rear tires. But once again, it don't make no difference if you can go far enough, and he does. 3:11.04. He is the new leader. We're bouncing this lead around.
And whether he meant to or not, well, Alan sets it up in the middle of the track, but he goes over to the right-hand side.
And he didn't steer it over. That's just kind of where the tractor's wanting to drift, but when you got a good run going, ride that horse.
Down to Rick Carlson.
Alan, 311 feet, good enough to take the lead, good enough to hold the lead?
No, there's too many good tractors back there. Hopefully if it's the top 5, he'd be very happy.
Our next puller is John Platty. He runs a powder coating business, and this is his tractor, Turbo Up.
Out of Hubbard, Iowa, there's a 2-tractor team, father and son team, and son not going to be here today, but he's sitting on his tractor. John actually comes from the antique pulling world. Quite a history behind John. Going into the super farm world. Good power. All the lead's changing. The sun's going down. The track is changing. He goes into the lead by 0.24 of a foot.
As we go to the replay, you said the sun going down. How much does that change the track?
It keeps the moisture in. It actually starts to help pulling the moisture up. Just a little more traction. Luck of the draw. I mean, our last 2 or 3 tractors have done a great job of pulling. It's not because the sun went down, but the horsepower with the moisture working great.
On the leaderboard, John Platty in first place by 0.24 feet. It is a sport of inches.
By luck of the draw, both of the Platty tractors draw back to back. John just run his tractor. Now he's going to run his son's tractor. And his younger son, that's not old enough to drive, has spotted the sled and the tractor for Dad.
And John will pull again when we come back.
The Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association is brought to you by Sapp Brothers. Visit one of our 16 full-service truck stops today. Agency 212, Marketing, Communications, Public Relations. VP Racing, world leader in race fuel technology. And by Steel Rubber, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping.
Welcome back to Ravenna, Nebraska, a beautiful night for truck and tractor pulling. Well, we've set the stage for John Platty. He's driving a gray area, so pressure's on.
Yeah, this is his son's tractor, Dustin's tractor, and Dustin not able to make the trip this weekend, so Dad's going to be carrying the flag. He's already in the lead. Dad just went to the lead with Turbo Up. Now he'd love to get the gray area into first or second, and he doesn't do it. He goes 3:04.75.
And that'll bring up our next competitor, Rodney Deck, out of Windside, Nebraska.
Well, anytime you see the Deck come to the plate, you know they are serious. Big show like this. Runs the Case IH. See, he's seen his son pull earlier. They've conferred. They've moved the weight around. This one called Dream On. A little farther over to right. Tire pressure looks good. That motor never run out of ponies. Never did pull down. What a deal. 3:16.55. He takes it to the lead.
And he does spot the sled in the center. That was the place of choice all afternoon. But now that the sun is down, looks like, Dave, we mentioned it before, the track is pulling them to the right.
And that's where the traction is. Let's go down and see what Rodney tells Rick Carlson.
Rodney Deck, it seems like it was going a foot at a time, then you just put 5 feet on everybody. Think it's going to hold?
I don't know. The track, I think, is just coming around, getting better. The moisture starts coming up when it gets dark like this, and I don't know if it's going to hold or not, but I guess we'll find out in a few more minutes here.
Chad Weisenkamp, he calls his tractor Someday, getting ready to go there.
And you can see determination in his eyes. This is one of the guys that you just look at his posture when he's driving. He's all the time leaning forward. He just shows you the determination that he wants that tractor to do good, and he's been on top many times, just leaning right in there. 3:11 and 19, that'll take him to number 3.
Yeah, in that driver's seat, he is all business, Dave.
Oh yeah, this man, such a pleasure to be around, but when he sits in that seat, he wants to go to that number 1 spot. Great tractor, great run for the Sunday.
Getting the horse collar on, ready to go. Magnum Force, this is Norm Cavan.
A guy that is known from coast to coast with the Magnum Force. Done very well at the Louisville Farm Show. One of the contenders anytime he comes to the track with that Case IH. It is a force to contend with, the Magnum Force. Tire pressure looked good, bouncing just a tick. He looks over at that leader flag. He knows he's a little short. He moves into second at 3:14 and 45.
And on the replay, there's not very much that you can pick apart about his run.
Yeah, you're exactly right. But when that front end come down right there, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, that will cost you that 2 foot that he needed to go to lead.
Mike Dunclow pulling out, getting ready to go. Burning bucks. Love the graphics on the side. You see the bucks going up in smoke. Well, watching with great anticipation, Rodney Deck.
Good job, Grandpa. Even if he beat your daddy, though, huh? It's okay.
Well, Dave, this is where the rubber meets the dirt. It's showtime.
Yep, last one to go. All the pressure's on. Seen a little bit of fire come out of that stack. That tells me he's got it turned up. He's burning and churning. The family's watching. A little zigzag right there. He went to the left. That zigzag will cut him a little short. Cuts him a bunch short. 3:03 and 87.
Let's see. Yay! Papa wins! Give him 5. Other hands.
Yeah, high 5, low 5. That's what it's all about. Going to the final results. First place, Rodney Deck, driving that Case IH, and Dave, the big change had to do with sundown.
And when the sun went down, the power come out. The lead changed many times.
And that'll put a wrap on it from Ravenna, Nebraska. What a great day and night of pulling. And now for Rick Carlson and Dave Bennett, Claude Wood, so long, and we will see you next time.